We the best, best, best. It's me, Normal Corey, and I am back again with my trusty MPC Live 3. And thank you so much to everyone for checking out this live stream and the video that'll be created from it later. So let me just talk about what we're doing with this video. I've been thinking a lot with my MPC Live 3, and I'm someone that personally, I make music every single day. I make music every day, and you don't have to make music every day. It's something that I don't have to do, but it's something that I am grateful for the opportunity of making music every day. And, some days are tougher than others. I don't always want to make music. I wouldn't even necessarily say I feel better after making music, but it does help me process however I'm feeling. So, today I'm feeling incredibly exhausted, feeling really tired, had a really active day, didn't really get the best sleep, but I'm here and I'm making music. And I'm oftentimes, it's like the more of these YouTube videos that I do, there's this interesting balance of the more that I do them, the more ideas I have for videos. Simultaneously, the more YouTube videos that I do, it's easy to get a certain degree of burnout, because I think we all have pretty big goals for ourselves, and I have big goals for this channel and with the people that I'm sharing with. So, sometimes it can feel like screaming into the void a little bit, and there's a bit of an intensity to that, and you can get burned out really easily if you're someone who's making a lot of content. But in thinking about that, I've been thinking a lot about that and just getting vulnerable with people and sharing how exactly that I feel. Because if I feel that way, other people probably feel that way. And I think the essence of what I'm trying to do with music and trying to do with my videos and stuff is to build community and provide value to people out there. So I was thinking about this video today, and I was thinking about what is the number one thing that I struggle with as someone who makes music. And the number one thing I struggle with as someone who makes music with my MPC Live 3 is that it might be hard if you're newer and you're like, how do I even make a song? Why would I like how do I even start? Where do I even begin? And so I'm somebody that, I make a song every day. So I'm always making music. But one thing that I struggle with is like, I make a song every day. If we go to a new project, and then if we just go in here, and I've had this version of the MPC for almost about a year now. But if we just go to projects and we go to my SSD card, there's kind of proof in the pudding. And there's some samples in there too, but we have all of these different songs. So at least if I've had this almost for a year, I have almost 365 songs. And there's certain days where I make multiple songs as well. So that's great and that's awesome. But, I'm out here in Seattle, Washington, and I want to, at a certain point, you kind of want to start performing your music back for people. And I have a way that I play my music. All of these songs are played. Let's just go into one and we can kind of talk about it. Hopefully none of them have like really embarrassing names, which sometimes happen. Let's go to this one called Birdie, because I'm guessing this will actually be cool. So if we go in, you can see what's going on here. That sounds really crazy. I made that in my aunt's yard of a birdie. That was cool. So let's go to a new project again. So yeah, if we just go through all of these songs, I think they're cool. But oftentimes you're thinking, hey, how am I going to perform music that I've already created? So let's just keep, for the sake of this example, Let's just do a new project, and we're just going to create a song. And in the process of creating a song, I kind of want to show you the easiest way to organize your songs. And this kind of goes back to when I first got my Octatrack, which is a really great device. And it kind of comes down to, I think if you're someone like me, I always wanted to make original music and I didn't really want to get it into sampling because I kind of viewed it as theft. But the thing that I didn't realize is that as much as you might view it as theft, what's the difference between theft and curation? So if you're someone that you like making your own original music, if you actually want to play that music back, you're going to kind of have to get into sampling yourself. And truthfully, with this video in the form of a live stream, I thought, hey, Corey, let's just get vulnerable here and let's kind of go over the things that, the past couple of days I've been trying to get this process figured out and I can't quite figure it out. And I'm like, oh, I can't make a video because I don't have it figured out. But hey, why not? Let's just do the live stream and let's see where we go. Okay, let's see. All right, it does look like we are still live. And yeah, I'm just using the speaker so I don't have to route anything. And we're just doing it in the iPhone. We're just getting vulnerable together. So we have this drum kit, but let's change it. So I've been really vibing with these classic drum machines. Because the thing about these kits is that you can keep going through these kits. I still haven't ran through all of them. And once again, we're basically trying to create something that we can resample and then we can put into a master set. So even if we just do 2 songs, that's fine. Yeah, we're just testing things out. So I like this. Tempo, let's put the tempo to 126. And we'll pick the key after we play the drums. But here's the way that I've been designing the drums with the thought of producing. It doesn't really make sense until you actually start producing. So we're going to start out with 1 bar, right? And we're going to create the clip. So now we'll see it's playing over here. So let's go here. Let's create a little swing in it. Now we're going to go in and we're going to double the length with events. Now I say let's just go ahead and double the length with events again. So now what I want to do is I want to copy this. Actually, let's go in here and let's, again, I'm just messing around. Let's call this clap. Cool. So now we're going to copy. And then we're going to paste it here. Now we're going to create some variation, And if you're someone that isn't the best drummer, the step sequencer was made for you. And the other thing, too, is that it takes your ego out of it a little bit. We all have our ego. So now let's go in here and let's name it clap kick. Okay, so now you go back here, we just have, we're already getting a little bit of variation. So we're going to copy, undo. Now we're going to copy, and then we're going to paste here. So we press down the touch strip. We're going to do the pad level. Okay, so now we'll say edit clip, cat clip, ride. Okay, Okay, so now what we're gonna do is we're gonna go one more. And this will kind of make sense in a second why we're doing things this way. So now let's go, yeah, we have clip like right, let's just record this up. I like this cowbell. All right, now we're going, now we're grooving. Okay, so now let's go over here. Clip, clack, ride, cow. So now I say we make one more. Copy, and then paste. Let's go to it. And let's go to edit clip. So not clear. So let's go back here. Cancel, not clear. So let's delete everything except for the kick. And then let's see, I accidentally didn't delete that part. Let's see how that sounds. Let's go ahead and delete that too. So now what we're going to do, we're just going to call this kick. So that's pretty easy to go in. Oh, too much. Oh. Okay. So now we have this little thing to... And that's the ultimate thing. So I'm going to build all of the melodic elements on top of this. So now we're just going to pick a plug-in. We'll pick a key we want to play in. I'm going to say G major. Do pentatonic. And let's do Jura. I feel like it'll sound good with this old school vibe. Okay, so now let's record it in. That sounds pretty good to me. So let's go and let's put the mother ducker in. We're gonna go back to this one of the kick. Double click on the mixer. We want the mother ducker input to be right here. Then we can mess with the effect and see what... It's like a Jura or a Juno. See, I wish there was a way that... And there are ways to just perform back with this, but we're gonna have to sample everything. That sounds really good to me. Okay, so now let's go. Let's try Ionia. Let's do more of like a lead. See, when you're playing around, it's kind of hard to even like it's hard to stop when you're just playing around grooving. But it's really important. Let's name our song. So we're in G major. We know we're in 126. So let's save project as. I'm going to save it onto my SSD card, which is really important. So we're going to say 126 dash. Then we're going to say G. And if it's minor, I'll just put the M after. And so then I think I just kind of want to name it something that sounds good to me and something that's memorable. And as I was talking about earlier, when I make music, you know, I might not be feeling great before, but however I'm feeling, I kind of want to name it that. So maybe let's call this one Dizzy. Dizzy. Okay. So then we're going to save it. And then it's going to be more clear after this whenever we're naming the individual samples of this to be put into like a bigger set. This is how we're going to understand everything. Okay, so let's go and let's record it. So let's mess around with the effect of it a little bit. Okay. All right. So let's do another track. Yeah. So let's do Jura again. Let's try a pluck. So we're gonna add another pluck here. Let's just do another Jura, why not? The thing about synthesizers too, weird is good. Don't forget to save. Okay, so now that we have all these plucks, moving right along. Let's add another track, and this time, let's add some type of synthesizer. So let's try Retro Silk. Okay, let's try this. I'm trying to make not this too loud. I didn't have the record on. The great thing about MIDI is that we can go through and pick other I actually like this one a lot. I like the bleeps and the bloops. Okay, so now let's go, this time let's add like a piano. Let's try an electric piano. Now let's add a chord to it. Okay, let's go for it. Let's try OPX, which is a weird FX synthesizer, but I like it. I actually like that one. It's really quite strange. Okay, so now we're at this point where we're talking about working smart. So if I was just doing my own thing, composing a song, I can maybe just stay all in here in the clip view, and this would be that. And, you know, honestly, it would be really nice to be able to work with all of the synthesizers and stuff. But I think if I was trying to do a live set, this is a really good basis for a song. based on everything that we have. So I think, again, this is just experimentation. This is the part where it gets really vulnerable because I want to just keep making music. Just like, come on, Corey, let's keep going. But let's slow it down. And you've noticed we've named these drums. So I'm kind of intrigued. I'm kind of intrigued if they stay. What I'm thinking, what I'm noticing right now as I'm working is like the key and the beats per minute are super important, right? But what's also pretty important, I think, for my understanding of all of this stuff in the future, and it's really painful to slow down, but sometimes you got to do that. Sometimes you got to get a little bit vulnerable. But what I'm thinking about is like, how do I save this in a way that it can be used in the future? So let's start doing it. And the thing about drums is that with drums, you don't necessarily need the key and the beats. You need the beats per minute, but you don't necessarily need the key. But if I know that this is a part of this song, Dizzy, I'm just gonna put the key and everything in there in the drums. Just why not? Okay, but this is the easiest way to do it. So let's go not in the arrangement, but we're in the clips. We press this pencil button, and we want to say bounce to sample. Now let's see how this works here. So we want to bounce to sample all clips, right? So let's see how this works, because this is experimentation. So we're bouncing clap, clap, kick, ride, clap, click, ride, cow, like kick. Okay. So now when we go up into the sample editor, yeah. So it says bounce, right? So my thought would be, let's go into here and let's take away the 125, but all this stuff, am I able to copy? Oh my gosh, I'm not able to copy, am I? Oh my gosh, that's really frustrating. I do think that if I use, this might be a good way to, this might be a great way to work would be if you had a keyboard, like a QWERTY keyboard, just for this specific situation, which I don't think I have a QWERTY keyboard anymore. So we're just going to have to remember it's called SFM RX11, Sizzle. So now let's go back into the samples where it says just the clap. I want to rename it. It's going to be so hard to remember. So it was SF. Oh my gosh. SF. This part's so boring, right? But it's going to allow me to perform later, so I'm happy about it. We're going to do the dash, RX, and then sizzle. And then just the part that says clap. But I do want it to be, let's say do it. But remember, it's 126G Dizzy is the name of the song. Oh my gosh. We're really getting into pretty crazy name. Okay. So let's edit it. What was it? It was 126, yeah. Oh my gosh. So 126. Okay. Now I'm thinking, do I want to put the name of the song in here too? I think I do, just because I'll be mad at myself if I don't later. And there's a lot of information here, but that's okay. That's okay. And this really slows things down. But you know what? What are you going to do? So now that we have all of this, it should be easy for me to do for the rest of these. Oh my gosh. So yeah, I'm sure there's got to be a copy paste function. Let's go here. here. So 126. This part's got to be so boring for a live stream, but that's fine. G. And then Dizzy. And then do it, but let's go back, see what the other one was called. SFM RX Sizzle. SFM, oh my gosh. SFM RX Sizzle. Now, when you're doing things like this, it can be kind of painful because you're like, why am I doing this? But I promise you, there's going to be a reason for why we do this. Maybe let's put this little space. I don't know. This has been helping me see everything when we lay it out like that. But okay, so first of all, we're going to go in. I do like that it says bounce because then you're like, I like the idea of bouncing. So 126. But the good thing is, you know, when you're reusing samples, you can generally be within 4 beats per minute. But if I'm bouncing my samples down like this, you know, I can use things. I'm working smarter, not harder, so I can constantly be creating with the stuff I've done. Okay, so G, Dizzy. This is the really boring part, but I have to remind myself. It's for a reason. So do it, but we want to go back. What was the other one named? SFM RX Sizzle. SFM RX. I'm not going to remember. I'm not going to forget that from now on. SFM RX Sizzle. The other thing too, if I work this way, maybe I could like sell these pieces back or like provide them to my friends. Yeah, then we're just gonna go through and let's put that little space in between all the drums. Yeah, who knows? I'll probably change the way that I'm working tomorrow. But see, you can see it all laid out and it's pretty apparent and clear to me. So then we go to 126 G. And you know, I'll probably like do something in there. That's fine. You can always correct it later. Dizzy. And then it was SFM. And eventually you start to remember things. RX. And then Sizzle. But I think it makes sense to have as much information as possible about the kit. And also the synthesizer. So we got that. Okay, cool. So then we just have the kick. So this will be easier. And this really does slow things down, but I promise y'all, and I promise myself, I promise you, Corey, that this is all going to be worth it. So we need to go back to the beginning. So it was 126. As boring as it is, you really want to name all of your samples like this. G, Dizzy, and then SFM, RX. This is also really helpful too. Say if you wanted to go back and you were like, hey, really great sample that I took of myself, but I need to change it. At least I know what the kit is, right? Okay, so now we're gonna go here, and this is this next one. Oh, we wanna go the one where I was kind of hoping that it would just convert all of the clips all at once, but you can't have everything. So then we want to bounce this to a sample. We're just gonna say selected clip because there's only one row of clips for all of this stuff. So then we just say bounce. Bada bing, bada bang, bada boom. Now go back to the sample edit. Now here's where we need to be careful. It's Jura and it's spit bass, okay? So we go back to here. We want to say 126 G. Then Dizzy is the name of the song. And then we want to say, we want to categorize our things. We're going to call it bass. And then we're going to say, oh, not too many. We want to say Jura. We want to say the plugin. And then we want to say spit bass. And this is going to help me just in case I need to go back and I need to find these things. So, cool. All right, let's see where we at timing-wise. Oh, we're doing great. We're doing so good. Okay, so now we have Ionia. Let's do the same exact thing. Bounce down. Bouncy, bounce, bounce. Again, we have Ionia. We know it's a lead, and it's the top line. All of the things will generally kind of add up and make sense together. So we'll go in here. It does make sense just to listen really fast. So shaky, bouncy. So we're going to say 126 G, dizzy. Then we're going to say lead. Iona. And then top line. Cool. So, I mean, there can always be like multiple top lines that were in 126 in G, but if I have multiple samples of the same thing, but this is great because I think if I work this way, it'll be really easy for me to go through the folders and say if someone's like, hey, Corey, we want you to do a live set. I can organize these things really easily. There's also different ways of organizing it too. But let's keep it going. And honestly, as slow as this may feel, it's pretty fast. So Jura Cotton, and we know this is a pluck. So we want to go to bounce, bouncy, bounce, bounce. Let's bounce it in. Okay, so then we go to the sample edit again. Okay, so now let's go in here and let's go to, oh my gosh, 126. And then we want to say G. And then we want to say, oh, not another one, Dizzy. It's the name of the song. Dizzy. Then we want to say pluck. And then we're going to call it Jura. We're going to call it. It is in Jura. And then I think it was called Cotton. So we can always go back and correct it really easily if that's not it. Let's go back, confirm, yes, cool. Great, so now we're just getting all these things in the sampler and I'm gonna talk to you about how we're gonna organize it after, but we're a little bit over halfway done. And guys, I know this is really boring, but I promise you in the long run, we're working smarter, not harder, and this is gonna help us for our future. So this one is called Rhythmic Pluck. It's also Jura, and I also know it's a pluck. So 126 G, Dizzy is the name of the song. This is so boring, but you know, why not do it on a live stream? And why not get vulnerable and show boring things? Okay, so Dizzy, and then we want it to be, we don't want it to be, it is a pluck. I'm naming things certainly. I don't feel it, I don't want it. It just is what it is. So Jura is the name of the synthesizer. And then, I mean, oftentimes the name gives it away, but Rhythmic Pluck. But again, this gives me a pathway that if something goes wrong with my mix or if any of the sample conversion, we know what it is and maybe we could correct it. Okay, so now we're on the fifth one. This one is called Funk Accenter in Fabric. Okay, so let's go in. Let's bounce to sample. Bouncy bounce. Bounce, 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 bounce. That's such a cute little noise. Reminds me of a little chipmunk. Okay, so let's go in here. Cute little chip chip. G, again, dizzy. Great. Okay, so then dizzy. A lot of stuff like this, you know, done a lot of exploring and like messed up, and so it made it feel like, oh, this isn't worth it. I'm never gonna do it. I sometimes you're doing this, you're like, why am I even doing this? I guarantee you this will work fairly well. Okay, so dizzy, and then now we're getting to synth. So let's call it synth. Oh, not synth. Okay, and then we know it was in fabric. And then we want to go to, we want to call it, what was it called? Funk Accenter. What a great name. Let's see if I spelled it right. I've been trying to just doing things correctly. Okay. Yeah, that looks good. That looks good. Okay, let's keep it going. So now we have the piano, but it's an E piano, so I'll name it that. The way that they kind of break down the synths, that's the way I want to break down my samples. Oh, but before I do that, I need to go in here, and we need to bounce to sample. Bouncy bounce. Okay. Great. Go here. That's not right. Okay, so now let's go and let's name this 126G. There might be places that I forgot things, honestly. I'll have to go through and check before I start working on composing this in a live set. And my goal is to really stay locked in. I want to make music this way all the time because I want to work smarter, not harder. Okay, so now onto the dizzy. We know it's a piano. So, oh, it's an E piano. So E piano. And then we know it's fabric. And then it's called Neo Soul. Neo Soul. Oh, I can't spell. Okay. That's great. That's great. So we're going to do it. And so again, any comments? Wait, let me see if... Oh, I'm not seeing none. That's okay. Big shout out to all y'all watching the stream. Thank y'all so much. Okay. So we're almost done with this very boring part. Plug in number 7, 8th track. This is pretty intense pad. Now we'll see how this translates. Sometimes I struggle with the pads. Might make sense to put an audio tell on it, but let's not. Let's just go for it and see what happens. Okay, so now we go in here. It's just a really strange sounding pad. Nothing like it. So then 126 G, and then we want to call it Dizzy, because that's the name of the song. Not we want to call it, just literally is. And then we say pad, and then we say 126 G, Dizzy, pad, OPX. OPX is the name of the synth. And then we want to call it, oh my gosh, what was the name? It's okay. It's really easy to go back in. OPX4 Looking Glass. OPX4 Looking Glass. Cool. Pretty cool name. But yeah, now that I have all of these things, maybe if I'm scrolling through my samples for different instruments, I can like go through that way. Okay, so we're gonna save this set. I kind of want to save it like this, just in case I'm like performing with these in the Octatrack. But now let's go in. That actually that doesn't really make any sense. So now let's go in. What I'm going to call this is new project. I'm going to call this project. We're going to call this whole live set Dizzy Live Set. And the next 16 songs, I'm going to try to compose into this live set, each individual thing that I do. Okay, so we want to do it in 126. And then what we want to do is we want to go into the arranger. Well, before we do that, let's turn this, let's delete the track. Delete. Let's add an audio track. 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 Okay, so now we have now we have 8 different audio tracks. And I'll explain to you why in a moment. But now what we're gonna do is we're gonna go here. I probably could go in, since it's a live set, I could just go in and like name it plugin things, but I'm not gonna do that yet. So what I wanna do now is I wanna create a new clip, click, oh, pause it, click on it, edit clip, go over here. We wanna browse the samples. So at least now, there isn't going to be any of the samples. There's just going to be stuff from the stupid drum set that was loaded in, which sucks because it actually fills in the space and makes finding our samples that we want kind of confusing. So it's kind of a bummer that it just loads that right away. There's probably a way for me to change that and make it easier on myself. But here's what we need to do. Here's how we find it. We go to the browser, we go to places, we go to MPC documents, we go to the live data, and we need to find what we just created. So I know it was 126. I don't know why it's not showing up like first things first, right? It looked like, let's try name. Let's flip the name. Okay, so there's clearly other stems that I've done. But that was a stem from a really long time ago. Okay, so let's go here. So we know it was 126 and then that it was G. So now let's see if this narrows it down. Maybe, oh, cool. Cool, very cool. Okay, all right, so we found our samples and they're all named out really nice. So what we can do is just go boom, 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 boom. Cool. So this is the only stuff that I have 126 at G. So it's going to be really easy for me to load it in. So now let's go back here. We don't want to press play. Oh, and it only did it 1 bar. No, it did it 4 bars. Okay, so let's go here, edit clip, browse the samples. So now let's just start with, here's all the different ones. Let's do 126G, just the clap, right? That's what we want to start with. It says 126, so now let's play it. So it's less malleable, but I'll show you why we're doing this. So we're gonna edit clip, go here, browse samples. Now we want the click, kick, and the clap. Let's listen to this. Very cool, very cool. So now we're gonna go here, create this one, click on it, edit clip, browse sample, kick, clap, ride, do it. Let's listen. So this is great because now we get some variation. I've been trying to figure out the best way to do this. This still isn't my favorite. I wish that there was a way you could copy in and out the clip automation and it would be a lot faster than this. But this is the fastest way that I have right now. So click, clap, ride, and the cowbell. More cowbell. And then when we go here, create, this one is just gonna be, I've just been doing 5. I feel like it's enough variation. I'm sure you could do like 30 if you wanted, and that might be really cool too. So now we just want kick. Cool. All right, let's listen to that. Cool. So now let's go over here into audio number 1, create, edit clip, go here, browse samples. Now we want to do, just going to name it the same way that we did with the other one. So let's do the bass first. Cool. Let's do it. And this is where sometimes things can go wrong. I actually noticed that if you turn the warp off, like if you've made the samples and you know what key it is, then you don't need it in the warp. You don't need the warp on. But so now let's go in here. Let's do this next one. Edit clip. Go here, browse samples. So we had the lead was the next one. So we'll load that in. We'll turn the warp off too. Okay, so now we're gonna do this next one. Edit clip, go here, browse samples. Now we wanted pluck. Let's do cotton. Very cool. All right, we're getting there. We're getting close. We're getting close. It's a lot faster on this end. So now we go in, create. So we want to go to edit clip. Sometimes when I'm doing this too, my brain just sort of glitches out, right? So now we want the rhythmic pluck. Okay, awesome. Almost there, everybody. Almost there, everybody. So now we're gonna do this next one. Edit the clip, browse the samples. And this time we want to do the synth, which is right here. Cool. Very cool. Okay. So now we want to go here, create, edit the clip, browse the samples. Let me make sure it's 9:36, so we're not at 10. So try to wrap this up soon. Okay, so we want neo soul. We want our piano. Very cool. Okay, let's turn the warp off again because we know that it's perfectly in sync. I guess technically maybe we want to keep the warp on just in case you change the tempo, but I don't know. Okay, so now we're gonna go in, browse this, and now we want looking glass. Okay, very cool. Very cool. See, it says 99, so let's just turn that off. See, if we have it on, it's gonna freak it up. Let's go in here and let's solo it. That sounds messed up. Let's go back into it, turn the warp off. It sounds a lot better. Sounds a lot better. Okay, everybody. So, in a very complicated way, we've now encapsulated this song in a way that we can put things in rows below it. You're allotted 16 audio tracks. So if I have 2 sets of 8 audio tracks, I think that's the best way to be able to affect everything. And then I can go in and I'll make 8 more. But if you go to the mixer right here, we're gonna put all of these things on this side on A, right? So then if we click in the crossfader, which is naturally set up in the middle, see, it's playing everything on A. It's nothing, but if we have stuff on B, if we have B, which B is gonna be the next 7 tracks that I add in for the next song that I do, then you can fade between your songs that way, kind of more like a traditional DJ. Okay, so let's now go over it. Also, the other thing I've been thinking about too, the way that I did the drums, that is another way that you could do if you wanted to only have 4 audio tracks, essentially like stems, because you could have all of your bass on one track, all of your drums on one track, all of your melodies on one track, and then like vocals on another track. And then you could lay them out. That, honestly, that might be a more efficient way. And say if I wanted to do vocals as I'm just looking at it and going over it, that might be an even better way to do this, but it does create more samples. But I guess what it also does is it creates less like width, like everything would just be on this right here, right? It wouldn't be so stretched out. But we're going with this method, so let's go with it. So if we go over here, now we can like, so that's great, right? But the other thing that we've done here is we've recreated what we just did, but we kind of minimalized it, you know? But what we can also do, let's play this track here. Let's actually go to this one. So this is a functionality, but what we want to do is we want to, in the settings, you can set the tempo for the individual track that you're doing. So let's go here and let's set the tempo here at 126.2. But what we can do now, click on this, we can do insert and capture. Uh-oh. But we want to mess with this tempo too. And the insert and capture made this functionality a lot more useful for me with the drums. And this is a really great way for me to build songs up. We're just making sure to keep it. I'm not sure if there's a limit to clip rows, but I think there's nothing holding me back from going in here and creating the song structure, which I think I'm going to wrap it up for tonight because I'm about at my curfew when it comes to not waking my neighbor. But you kind of get my point, right? We can add things. So we insert and capture. doing? Yeah, I like that noise. And I'm just going through and I'm mixing based on feeling, you know? Okay, so there we have one full song. And we could just go through it really quickly. Let's see where we at timing wise. Okay. Yeah, so then that would be the way that I'm going to add 8 more tracks, and that's how I would add a new song. And honestly, just making one song this way has taken me an hour, whereas, if I was just going really, really fast with the VSTs on the MPC, I could probably make a full song in like 20, 30 minutes. So it doubles the time. But here's my thought, here's my theory is that if I name these songs really, really organized like this, and I work really concisely and together, I'll be able to make more complete things, which will be really useful for me. Because I don't think that there's a limit to the number of clips that you can use, because we can keep scrolling down. And I think what I've kind of struggled with is as I experiment and I do the songs this way that I can't. I don't always stick to it, but I think this is a pretty good method. The only thing that I think would change is maybe changing the drums, and creating basically melodies, and that way create more of a DJ experience. But I could also maybe do that with resampling the song as well. So yeah, I'm gonna wrap it up for the night because I don't want to be too loud for my neighbor, but thank you all so much. Please like and subscribe if you appreciate what I'm doing. Thank you so much for checking out this video. Love making beats. Love having the ability to live stream. Took a while to be able to even live stream here on YouTube. So feel free to leave a comment. And I appreciate you all. Thank you all so much. Reach out to me if you want to do a class with me on making beats with your MPC Live 3.